Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that many people fear, being alone. I know it might sound strange. Some of you might even be cringing right now thinking, why would I ever want to be alone? Well, let me tell you, there is something beautiful, powerful, and transformative about embracing solitude. You see, the world today is louder than ever. We are constantly bombarded by social media, phone calls, text messages, and the pressure to be with others. There's this unspoken rule that says we must always be surrounded by people to be happy. But let me tell you something, that's not true. In fact, the opposite is often where the real power lies. When was the last time you took a moment just to be with yourself? No distractions, no noise, just you and your thoughts. I'm talking about real solitude, not just sitting in silence, but allowing yourself the space to reflect, to grow, and to understand who you really are. This is the moment when you connect with your true self. And here's the thing, God wants you to be alone sometimes. I know that might sound crazy to some of you, but hear me out. God understands that in the stillness, in the quiet moments, you'll discover something that is essential for your growth, your purpose. When you are alone, you are forced to face the truth. You don't have the distractions of other people's opinions or judgments. You don't have the noise of the world drowning out the voice that has always been there within you. This is where your deepest thoughts come alive. This is where you start to hear the call of your purpose, the direction you need to take in life. In the Bible, it's often the moments of solitude that lead to the greatest breakthroughs. Think about it. Moses was alone in the wilderness, and it was there that he received his calling. Jesus, in his time on earth, would frequently retreat to be alone, away from the crowds. It was in those quiet moments that he gained strength, clarity, and insight into his mission. And let's not forget about David. Before he became king, David spent years in solitude, learning to trust God and strengthen his inner spirit. So why does God want you to be alone? Because being alone forces you to develop a relationship with yourself. And when you understand who you are, you'll be able to understand your purpose. You'll be able to walk in the path that was created just for you. Now, I know some of you are saying, I don't want to be alone. I need people. I need to be loved. I need validation. I get it. Trust me, I understand. But the truth is, if you don't learn to love yourself first, you'll never be able to love anyone else the way they deserve to be loved. If you don't learn to find peace and joy in your own company, then you will forever rely on other people to provide you with that happiness. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disappointment. You see, when you're alone, you are forced to confront the parts of yourself that you might be avoiding, the fears, the insecurities, the doubts. We all have them, but how many of us are willing to face them? How many of us are willing to sit in the silence and reflect on what's really going on in our hearts? It's in those moments of discomfort that true growth occurs. There's a beauty in being alone. You get to rediscover who you are without the influence of others. You get to figure out what you truly want and what you truly need. And when you do that, something amazing happens. You become stronger, you become more grounded, you become more in tune with the voice that is leading you forward. And this is not just about being alone physically, it's about learning to be at peace with yourself, to be comfortable in your own skin. It's about learning to be independent, not just emotionally, but also mentally and spiritually. It's about gaining the confidence to walk through life without constantly needing validation or approval from others. Let me be clear, there's nothing wrong with having relationships and being around people. We are social beings, and human connection is a beautiful thing. But it's important to remember that you can't give from an empty cup. You cannot pour into others if you have not first poured into yourself. So before you go searching for someone to fill the void in your life, you must first learn to fill that void yourself. You must first learn to be happy in your own company. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but I've been alone for so long, I'm tired of it. And that's fair. Loneliness is tough. It's painful. But let me ask you this. How many times have you tried to fill that emptiness with temporary fixes? How many relationships, habits, or distractions have you turned to hoping they would make you feel whole, only to end up feeling the same way again? It's because those things are not the solution. The solution is learning to love yourself and finding contentment in the person you are, alone or not. If you want to live your best life, if you want to be in a healthy, loving relationship, or if you want to achieve the dreams in your heart, you need to spend time alone. You need to spend time figuring out who you are and what you really want. This is your opportunity to reconnect with your purpose, to rekindle the fire within you that may have been dimmed by the noise of life. I'm not saying you have to be alone forever. What I am saying is that sometimes you need to embrace the solitude. You need to embrace the quiet moments where you can hear your own voice. You need to learn to be okay with being by yourself, because that's when you'll hear the truth that God has been trying to speak to you all along. God wants you to be alone sometimes so that you can grow, so that you can become the person you were always meant to be. He wants you to understand that you are enough just as you are. He wants you to know that you don't need anyone else to complete you. You are complete just as you are. And when you understand that, everything else will fall into place. So take the time to be alone. Take the time to connect with yourself. And when you do, you'll realize that being alone is not a punishment, it's a gift. A gift that allows you to become the best version of yourself, a version that is fully capable of living a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment. As you continue on your journey, remember this: the power to change your life starts with you. It starts with your willingness to embrace the moments of solitude and use them for growth. It starts with your willingness to listen to the voice within you and to trust the path that is laid out before you. So don't fear being alone. Embrace it. It's in that quiet space that you discover who you truly are and what you're truly capable of. And when you do, you'll never look at being alone the same way again. The journey to understanding why being alone is essential begins with recognizing the importance of solitude. Being alone allows you to reconnect with yourself, away from the noise and distractions of the outside world. It offers the space to reflect, recharge, and reset. Far from being a punishment, it's a powerful tool for growth. The more time you spend alone, the more you'll realize that this is when you can hear your true thoughts without being influenced by others. Being alone provides clarity. Without other people's opinions, you can begin to focus on your own needs, desires, and purpose. You'll discover your true passions, the things that truly matter to you, and what you want out of life. When you're not constantly seeking validation from others, you become free to make choices that align with your authentic self. You also become more self-reliant. It's easy to depend on others when you're always around people, but when you're alone, you are forced to stand on your own 2 feet. This builds inner strength and resilience. Solitude helps you develop emotional intelligence. When you're alone, you get the chance to observe your emotions without judgment. You can see how your feelings react to different situations and take the time to process them. Instead of distracting yourself from your emotions, you learn to understand and manage them. You gain emotional independence, which is necessary for building healthy relationships with others. You start to love yourself because in solitude, you have the time to do so. You're not rushing to meet someone else's needs, but rather taking time to nurture and appreciate who you are. Being alone helps you discover your purpose. The distractions of daily life often drown out the whispers of our inner calling. But when you are by yourself, you can hear your purpose more clearly. You begin to realize what you were put on this earth to do. It's in those quiet moments of solitude that you may experience a breakthrough, gaining the insight you've been searching for. The more you embrace being alone, the closer you get to uncovering your true potential. Sometimes we fear loneliness because we associate it with emptiness, but loneliness is an opportunity for introspection. It's an invitation to look inward and ask yourself the hard question: who are you really? What do you want out of life? What are you avoiding? In these quiet moments, you're given a chance to face yourself head on. You no longer have to mask your vulnerabilities with distractions. The silence allows you to sit with your fears, insecurities, and doubts, ultimately enabling you to overcome them. Being alone also promotes creativity. Without the interference of other people's thoughts and ideas, your mind is free to wander and explore new possibilities. You may find that some of your best ideas and solutions come when you're alone. This is when you can tap into your creative energy, unencumbered by external opinions. Solitude provides a fertile ground for innovation and problem solving. Self-reflection is another powerful benefit of solitude. When you're alone, you have the time to assess your life, your choices, and your actions. You can reflect on your past experiences and learn from them, making better decisions moving forward. Reflection is a key part of growth. It helps you identify your strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. You begin to see patterns in your behavior that you might have missed in the busyness of life. Being alone doesn't mean you're isolated. You're simply removing the distractions that keep you from connecting with yourself. It's about understanding that your own company is enough. You become comfortable in your own skin, knowing that you don't need anyone else to complete you. When you embrace solitude, you begin to develop a deep sense of self-worth, realizing that you are enough just as you are. Sometimes being alone teaches you the importance of personal boundaries. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to lose sight of what you need. But when you're alone, you learn what you truly need to feel fulfilled. You begin to set boundaries with people in your life, teaching them how to respect your space and time. You realize that your peace of mind is worth protecting and that it's okay to say no when you need to. Being alone also fosters patience. In our fast-paced world, we often expect things to happen immediately, but solitude teaches you the art of patience. You learn to wait for things to unfold naturally. You stop rushing through life and begin to enjoy the journey. In the silence, you learn to trust the process and accept that everything will come in its own time. Alone time helps you break free from the pressures of comparison. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to compare yourself to them. But when you're by yourself, you are only accountable to you. You stop worrying about what everyone else is doing and begin to focus on your own progress. You understand that your path is unique and that comparing your journey to others only detracts from your own growth. Embracing solitude also enables you to develop a deeper connection with your spirituality. When you're alone, you can take time to meditate, pray, or reflect on your beliefs. This personal connection with your faith or spiritual practices deepens, giving you a sense of peace and guidance. You can hear your inner voice and the divine whispers that you might have missed in the chaos of life. Being alone allows you to release the need for external validation. It's easy to seek approval from others when you're surrounded by them. But when you're alone, you learn that your value isn't dependent on others' opinions. You begin to validate yourself. You no longer need others to affirm your worth because you already recognize it within yourself. This internal validation gives you the confidence to move forward in life with purpose and authenticity. It also provides a chance for personal healing. Sometimes we go through life carrying emotional wounds that we haven't fully addressed. Being alone gives us the space to heal these wounds. In solitude, you can process past pain, forgive yourself, and move forward with a clean slate. It's a time of emotional restoration and growth. The healing process can only happen when you take the time to be still and face your past. Alone time helps you develop a sense of gratitude. When you're surrounded by people, it's easy to take things for granted. But when you're alone, you start to appreciate the small things in life. You realize how much you have to be thankful for. You begin to notice the beauty in the everyday moments, the simple joys that often go unnoticed. Gratitude becomes a natural part of your mindset. You also learn how to take responsibility for your own happiness. Many people rely on others to make them happy, but when you're alone, you realize that happiness comes from within. You begin to take charge of your own joy rather than waiting for someone else to bring it to you. This realization is empowering as it means that you are in control of your emotional well-being. Spending time alone also strengthens your decision-making skills. Without outside influences, you are forced to make decisions for yourself. You learn how to trust your instincts and follow your intuition. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that you are capable of making the right choices for your life. Solitude gives you the opportunity to cultivate inner peace. In the quiet moments, you learn how to let go of the chaos and stress of the world. You find peace within yourself, and that peace radiates outward, influencing everything you do. Inner peace is not something you can get from others. It's something that you create within yourself. It also teaches you the value of time. When you're alone, you become more aware of how precious time is. You begin to use your time wisely, focusing on things that truly matter. Time becomes a resource that you no longer take for granted. You understand that time spent in solitude is an investment in your personal growth. Solitude also enables you to experience deep rest. Our minds and bodies are constantly on the go. We're always doing something, always moving. But when you're alone, you can rest, recharge, and rejuvenate. You give yourself the space to relax without guilt. This rest is vital for your well-being and overall health. Being alone teaches you self-discipline. Without the distraction of others, you must learn to stay focused on your goals and responsibilities. You begin to build the self-discipline necessary to stay on track and follow through with your commitments. It's in the solitude that you develop the habits that will ultimately shape your success. Finally, solitude allows you to build a deep sense of self-love. When you're alone, you have the chance to truly care for yourself. You can practice self-compassion, forgive yourself for past mistakes, and begin to build a life that aligns with your values. Self-love isn't something you can get from others, it's something you give to yourself. It's the foundation for everything else in your life. When you take time to be alone, you give yourself the opportunity to reconnect with who you truly are without the constant influence of others. In our modern world, it's easy to lose track of our own desires and needs because we're constantly being pulled in different directions by family, friends, work, and society at large. Solitude removes these distractions and gives you the space to hear your own thoughts, rediscover your passions, and figure out what truly makes you happy. By embracing moments of solitude, you allow yourself to check in with your inner self, ensuring that the decisions you're making in life align with your personal values and goals. Being alone gives you clarity, which is crucial for personal growth and direction in life. When you are alone, you can more easily assess where you are and where you want to go. You stop being caught up in the rush of other people's lives and expectations, and instead, you take the time to think about your own path. In the quiet, you begin to gain a clear sense of who you are, what you want to achieve, and the values that guide you. This clarity enables you to make choices that are rooted in your true self, not decisions based on external pressures or fleeting emotions. One of the most significant aspects of solitude is learning to be self-reliant. When you're alone, you can't lean on others for support, validation, or comfort. This might sound intimidating, but it's a powerful opportunity to develop resilience and inner strength. In solitude, you learn how to face life's challenges on your own. You figure out how to solve problems, cope with emotions, and handle difficult situations by relying on your own inner resources. The confidence that comes from solving problems on your own and navigating life independently builds emotional fortitude and helps you grow into a more capable, self-sufficient person. When you spend time by yourself, you also gain a chance to develop emotional intelligence. Being alone doesn't mean you'll never feel emotions, but it gives you the space to understand them. Without the distractions of other people's emotions or influences, you have the opportunity to sit with your own feelings. This enables you to recognize why you feel the way you do and process those emotions in a healthy way. Emotional intelligence is vital for forming deep and meaningful relationships, but it starts with understanding and managing your emotions when you're alone. This skill strengthens your overall emotional well-being and helps you navigate life with more awareness. Solitude helps cultivate self-love, which is an essential foundation for living a fulfilling life. Often we seek approval or validation from others to feel worthy or loved. But when you're alone, you come to realize that you are enough just as you are. You don't need anyone else to define your worth. You become more comfortable with who you are, accepting your flaws, your quirks, and your uniqueness. Through self-love, you learn to treat yourself with kindness and respect, which creates a solid base for building self-esteem. As your self-love grows, you also become more equipped to love others in a healthier, more authentic way. Spending time alone helps you discover your true purpose in life. Often we are caught up in the routines of daily life, constantly attending to obligations, that we forget to ask ourselves what we are really meant to do. When you're alone, the distractions fade away and you can tune in to your inner voice. It's in these quiet moments that you may discover a deeper calling, something that resonates with your soul. This self-awareness allows you to walk with purpose and focus on what truly matters to you, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal development. The power of solitude lies in giving you the space to hear your purpose clearly. Solitude also provides the opportunity for introspection. Without the constant chatter of the outside world, you can take a step back and reflect on your life and your experiences. This allows you to understand what you've learned from past mistakes and successes. You can reflect on your actions and decide if they align with the person you want to be. This self-reflection helps you grow emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, giving you the insight to make better decisions moving forward. You'll begin to recognize patterns in your behavior, your relationships, and your life choices that may have previously gone unnoticed. When you spend time alone, you're also less likely to compare yourself to others. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to look at the people around you and feel like you're falling behind or not living up to expectations. But solitude teaches you to focus inward, allowing you to appreciate your unique journey. You begin to realize that comparing yourself to others only steals your peace and detracts from your own growth. Being alone helps you understand that everyone's path is different, and it's important to honor and embrace your own individual journey without judgment. The power of solitude also lies in its ability to fuel creativity. When you're by yourself, your mind can wander freely, unencumbered by the opinions or distractions of others. This opens up space for new ideas, innovations, and solutions. Without external noise, you can think more clearly and tap into your creative potential. Some of the world's most creative individuals have spent significant time alone, using that space to explore ideas and develop concepts that later led to breakthroughs. Solitude nurtures your imagination, giving you the time and quiet needed to innovate. Personal healing often occurs when you're alone. Life can sometimes be overwhelming, and you may carry emotional wounds that need attention. Being alone gives you the chance to process these feelings without the influence of others. Whether it's grief, regret, or disappointment, solitude allows you to face your pain in a safe, non-judgmental space. You have the opportunity to grieve, forgive, and let go of what's holding you back. Healing is a process, and it requires time and space to be fully realized. In solitude, you are given that time to restore yourself emotionally and move forward. By spending time alone, you also learn to value your time and how to use it wisely. We often allow ourselves to get caught up in the rush of life, filling our time with activities that don't serve us. But solitude teaches you to value your time and to spend it on things that truly matter. You become more intentional with how you use your time, whether it's working toward a goal, nurturing your mental health, or simply resting. You begin to understand that time is precious, and that you should invest it in things that align with your values and purpose. Solitude provides a space for deep rest and rejuvenation. The fast pace of life can leave you feeling exhausted and worn out, but when you are alone, you can give yourself permission to slow down and truly rest. This rest isn't just physical, it's also mental and emotional. You can take a break from the constant demands of others and recharge your batteries. This rejuvenation is essential for maintaining your overall well-being and is a critical component of long-term success. Resting in solitude allows you to return to the world with renewed energy and clarity. Alone time teaches you patience. In solitude, you begin to accept the pace of life and learn that things happen when they're meant to. You stop rushing through life, trying to force outcomes, and instead, you trust in the process. Patience becomes a natural byproduct of solitude because you learn to be present with where you are in life, understanding that everything unfolds in its own time. This patience allows you to let go of the need for immediate gratification and develop a deeper appreciation for the journey rather than just the destination. Lastly, solitude teaches you self-discipline. When you're alone, there's no one to hold you accountable but yourself. This forces you to cultivate the discipline necessary to achieve your goals and stick to your commitments. Whether it's working on a personal project, building healthy habits, or pursuing a passion, being alone gives you the time to focus on what's important. Through this practice, you develop self-control and learn how to stay on track even when no one is watching. By embracing solitude, you unlock the potential to become the best version of yourself. It is in these quiet moments away from the distractions of the world that you discover your strengths, face your challenges, and build the foundation for a life of fulfillment. Alone time is not a void to be feared, but a space to be embraced, where growth, creativity, and clarity flourish. The significance of spending time alone cannot be overstated, as it serves as a foundation for personal development, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. The more you allow yourself the opportunity to be alone, the more you give yourself the chance to step out of the noise of life and tune into your true essence. It's often said that the loudest voice in the room should be your own, but too often we're drowned out by the constant pressure of external influences. When you're alone, it's just outside voices demanding your attention or shaping your perspective. In those moments of solitude, you start to reconnect with your core values and identity. Many of us get lost in the roles we play in life, whether it's as a parent, a spouse, an employee, or a friend, and forget who we are as individuals. Being alone gives you the time and space to reconnect with yourself, understand your motivation, and rediscover your passions. You can reflect on what excites you, what scares you, and what brings you joy. This reconnection is crucial because it helps you align your actions with your innermost desires, leading to a more fulfilled and purpose-driven life. Moreover, being alone allows you to build clarity in your life. The external world is constantly pulling us in different directions, each with its own expectations, goals, and demands. It's easy to get overwhelmed by all the competing voices, but solitude offers a rare opportunity to block out these external influences and focus solely on what you need. This clarity of thought helps you make better decisions because you are no longer swayed by outside opinions. When you're alone, you have the freedom to reflect deeply and make choices that align with your inner truth rather than choosing out of convenience or external pressure. One of the key aspects of solitude is the cultivation of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, understand, and manage our emotions, as well as the emotions of others. When you're alone, you have the opportunity to check in with yourself and assess how you're feeling. You can ask yourself questions like, why am I feeling anxious? What triggered this emotion? Is it based on a past experience or something happening right now? This process of introspection allows you to become more aware of your emotional patterns and reactions, and it gives you the opportunity to respond to situations more consciously rather than reacting impulsively. You learn to regulate your emotions, and this self-mastery can have profound effects on all areas of your life, from personal relationships to professional success. Being alone also enables you to discover and cultivate your inner strength. Life often throws challenges and setbacks our way, and it's easy to rely on others for emotional support or reassurance. But solitude forces you to dig deep within yourself and find the courage to face these challenges on your own. Through this process, you become stronger and more resilient. You may discover untapped strengths you didn't even know you had. When you emerge from these moments of solitude, you feel empowered, knowing that you have the ability to navigate life's difficulties independently. This independence fosters a deep sense of self-reliance and builds confidence in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. In addition to emotional intelligence and self-reliance, solitude offers a chance for deep personal healing. Over time, we accumulate emotional baggage, unresolved grief, hurt, regrets, or disappointments that can weigh us down. Being alone provides a space to process these emotions without interference. It allows you to confront painful experiences and begin the journey of healing. Whether it's forgiving yourself or others, solitude offers a safe environment to reflect and come to terms with past pain. Only by sitting with our emotions and allowing them to rise to the surface can we release them and move forward with a clean slate. Another crucial aspect of spending time alone is that it fosters creativity. In the presence of others, our thoughts and ideas are often shaped by the people around us, which can limit our creative potential. Solitude, however, removes these distractions and allows us to tap into our deepest, most original thoughts. When you're by yourself, your mind has the freedom to wander, explore new ideas, and come up with innovative solutions to problems. Whether you're working on a project, creating art, or trying to solve a complex issue, moments of solitude often spark some of the best and most creative ideas. Alone time also allows you to focus on self-care and self-love, which are vital components of a healthy life. Many people get so caught up in the responsibilities and expectations placed on them by others that they forget to take care of themselves. Solitude gives you permission to slow down, relax, and recharge. It's an opportunity to practice self-compassion, treat yourself with kindness, and prioritize your well-being. You can engage in activities that nurture your soul, whether it's reading, meditating, journaling, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. The more you prioritize your own health, both physical and emotional, the more you can show up as the best version of yourself in all areas of your life. One of the most profound benefits of solitude is that it allows you to discover your true purpose. Many people go through life without truly understanding their calling. They may feel aimless or uncertain about their direction. However, solitude provides the space for deep introspection where you can ask yourself, what is it that truly excites me? What do I want to contribute to the world? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions may not have immediate answers, but the time spent alone allows you to explore these aspects of yourself more thoroughly, eventually leading you to a clearer understanding of your purpose in life. When you discover your purpose, you can align your actions with it, which brings a deep sense of fulfillment and direction. Spending time alone also gives you the freedom to break free from societal expectations. In a world full of constant comparison and judgment, it can be difficult to be true to yourself. When you're surrounded by others, you may feel the pressure to conform to certain standards or to live up to other people's expectations. But solitude allows you to embrace who you truly are without the need for validation from others. You begin to realize that you don't need anyone else's approval to live authentically. This freedom is empowering, and it gives you the courage to pursue your dreams and goals without fear of judgment or rejection. Self-reflection is an important aspect of growth, and solitude provides the perfect environment for it. We often rush through life, moving from one task to the next without taking the time to pause and reflect on our experiences. When you are alone, you have the opportunity to think about your past actions and decisions. You can analyze what worked well and what didn't, learn from your mistakes, and make adjustments going forward. This process of self-reflection helps you gain valuable insights into yourself, which can lead to more intentional and effective decision-making in the future. Through solitude, you also learn to embrace and appreciate silence. In today's world, silence is often undervalued. We're surrounded by constant noise, TV, social media, traffic, work demands, and it can be overwhelming. But in solitude, you learn to appreciate the power of quiet. Silence allows you to listen to yourself, to your thoughts, and to your environment. It's in the silence that we can hear the subtle whispers of our intuition guiding us toward the right decisions. The peace found in solitude enables us to tune into our inner wisdom and make choices that align with our true self. Finally, solitude teaches you patience. In the fast-paced world we live in, we become accustomed to instant gratification. We expect things to happen quickly and often feel frustrated when they don't. But when you're alone, you learn to trust in the natural flow of life. You understand that not everything happens immediately and that things will unfold in their own time. Patience becomes a skill that allows you to stay calm and composed, even in challenging situations. It's a reminder that life is a journey, not a race, and that we must give ourselves the space to grow at our own pace. In summary, spending time alone is one of the most profound ways to connect with yourself, heal emotionally, and unlock your full potential. It's in solitude that we find clarity, creativity, and purpose. We develop emotional intelligence, resilience, and self-love. We learn to trust ourselves, to embrace our uniqueness, and to live authentically. Solitude is not something to fear or avoid. It is a powerful tool for personal growth and transformation. Through it, we become stronger, more self-aware, and more in tune with our true selves, and we emerge better equipped to live fulfilling, purpose-driven lives.